They call it Thunder Valley, 6,100 feet of elevation, motocross racing in Colorado. How do you set up a motorcycle to ride in these conditions? Well, that's the subject of today's Tech Tip with Jeremy Albrecht. Let's get to it.
All right, this week's Tech Tip, I'm going to talk to you guys about jetting. We're actually at the altitude, so the thing we're going to do is this is actually a bigger needle and a smaller main jet, and it's actually going to restrict the fuel to lean the bike out so it doesn't use as much fuel. And then we're also going to put on a bigger sprocket for the hills because in the altitude it doesn't have as much response, so this is going to help pick that up. And then on the tires, we actually have one that will dig a little more depending on the weather and depending on how much the motor really gets pulled down out there. This one's spread out and digs more. This one's more like a hard pack tire that's closer together and doesn't dig as much. So we're going to let you know later on what we're going to do.
Well, we checked in with those guys, Jeremy and the Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota Yamaha team, and they're two different riders, picked two different tires.
Yeah, it's interesting because that tire on the left with the big, tall knobs, the wide spacing that's made for the soft compounds, Cody Cooper was using that. Josh Grant was using the intermediate terrain, which, you know, kind of in between like the soft sandy mud and like the hard pack. You can see this track has got a couple different sections. For me, I always like to pick what was going to work off the start. I'll deal with the rest of the track later. But I'm telling you, here tonight, it's whatever the Red Bull Honda guys are doing. Whew, that's what's working because they are flying.
Also flying, Hahn in third, has closed up on Short in second. Hahn, that means he's got some factory support with that motorsport.com team. They're not a full factory Monster Kawasaki squad, but they do get some of the good parts, certainly enough of them to challenge the factory teams, and that's what Hahn is doing right now.
Well, and once again, this team, this Candidate Pet Food Kawasaki, was a team that was set up to bring, you know, the riders on the 250Fs up through Kawasaki's Team Green, up into the pro ranks, but Hahn went for the bigger bike, and this is where the big bike matters. Here, all this horsepower from the 450 coming through, and look around the first turn, once again, Ivan Tedesco.
Progressive hole shot replay, it's just like what we had in Moto 1. Tedesco grabbed both hole shots in both motos. Got the lead.
Just about a carbon copy, even through the ranks, minus Michael Lessie.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, there is Short in the number 2 spot. The gap is 5.5 seconds. On the opening few laps, Short was able to challenge his teammate Tedesco. We thought he might make a pass, but Tedesco has definitely found his groove now and is extending it. Tedesco has not won on this tour since Washougal a few weeks after racing in Colorado way back 2005. That's a long gap. Can Tedesco get the victory? How about Tommy Hahn? Can he get through that wall of Honda riders?
Well, Tommy Hahn eventually worked his way past Michael Byrne there, and just, I'm telling you, I can't say enough good things about Tommy here. He's joined by his brother Will, who rides for that KTM team in the 250 class, so kind of the family affair here, but just showing so much heart, showing that he's got the dedication and the work ethic, because right now he is just a couple spots from the pinnacle of the sport of motocross right here, and he's reeling in the local boy Andrew Short. He's closing up. He's only about 3 seconds, about 2.5 behind Andrew Short, and he's closing up every lap.
Here's Michael Byrne in fourth, veteran out of Australia. Byrne, the bad shoulder at the beginning of the year, had some rough motos early, but he has gotten stronger and stronger, and this is another solid one. He is in fourth. He's the teammate and the countrymate of Chad Reed, and we'll see if we can find Reed, who's working his way through traffic. Then you've got Dietrich behind Byrne, and Kyle Summers, an off-road rider who does very well here in the elevation, followed by Josh Grant. Grant is in 7th, and we're still waiting for Chad Reed. There he is. Kyle Keelan leading Chad Reed right now. It has been a rough day for our series points leader.
Yeah, and that's it. Reed almost gets into Keelan. It's interesting because Reed, to me, he had all of the momentum coming into this event.
Absolutely.
Okay, grabs a points lead. Alessi's out. Reed goes and wins High Point. It's like, okay, everything's great. And he's even stated here today that he just hasn't been on it. And you know, this is a track that in my opinion, I thought Chad Reed would really like, that he'd be on it. But there's something going on with him, just, you know, mentally, that he's just not, you know, focused as he, as he can. He certainly is not riding with the intensity as what we've seen him before.
And it's not only winning the race last time out at High Point. It's the way he did it. He hunted down both of the Honda riders, Short and Tedesco, to establish himself as the man in this series. Both Short and Tedesco had a chance to win that race, and Reed said, "You're not going to beat me." And I really thought that that statement would power Reed through the rest of the year, but instead the Honda riders have rebounded. They went 1-2 in Moto number 1. They're 1-2 in Moto number 2, and Reed is struggling just to get into the top 5 here. Takes a look over his shoulder. He's in 8th place. How far up in the order can Reed go? We've got plenty of racing left to try to find out. Stay with us here live on Speed.